first I was like, I'm not going anywhere. My life is over. I'm never going to sell another house again. And then my husband looked at me and he's like, you got to get out there. Like, you put that mask on and you get out there. Welcome back, everybody. All right. So today we are back. We are here. So today we're going to go through my story. I'm Jennifer Kelley. I am a realtor in Connecticut. I live in Newtown, Connecticut, but I think I spoke in the first episode, Northern Fairfield County. I can service all of Connecticut, but mainly stick to, my general area. I was born and raised in Newtown, so I stayed close to home. So I grew up here. I have 2 children. I have a daughter, Reagan, who is going to be 14. I can't believe it, going into high school. And I have a son, Declan, who is going to be 11 in just a short couple of weeks. And he is going into 6th grade. Husband, I met him in high school. We are high school sweethearts. Yes. So we will be together 30 years this September, but married 20. So wild, crazy. We love being in Newtown. I love raising my children in our hometown. A lot of people who grew up here still live here, which is really cool that we get to like raise our family with, people that we grew up with, which is crazy. Every time we're at an event, we're like, we should take a picture. There's so many people that went to Newtown High School, like here. It's crazy.
So you must have not done anything super embarrassing in high school. Like if you're like, I don't know, maybe it's so good that we didn't live in the social media age.
Well, remember, there were no phones. There were no cameras. There were no phones. There's no evidence of any of it. So if we did, it's all locked, sealed away, right? Nobody knows. There's no evidence of it. But yeah, so like I said, I grew up here. I graduated from Western Connecticut State University with a degree in finance. And then I started working in consumer products finance. So I worked for a company called Playtex Products. And we were in Westport at the time. And then we got bought by Energizer. And we moved to Shelton. And I did that for about 10 years. I was in finance and did...
That tracks, by the way. You were you seem so much like a C on the disc. Have you done your disc profile?
No.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about, Jen. I need this.
But you know what? I feel like I probably did do it when I worked there because I think we did things like that, but I don't remember. So I'll have to look back because I'm sure I have. Yeah. I'm sure I have record of it. But so I worked in finance. I loved it, but I had my daughter. And after I had my daughter, I just felt like I was the first one to drop her off at daycare, the last one to pick her up. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I'm like, do I go to teaching so I could have the same schedule? Like I didn't know what path I wanted to choose. I always loved real estate, always was interested in like just getting inside people's houses, loved decorating and things like that. So something in my head was like, just get your license and see what happens. So sure enough, I did that and I decided to make this my full-time career. I got my license when I was pregnant with my son, so 11 years ago. And fun fact, I actually had to retake part of the exam because I was pregnant at the time I took it. And
pregnant brain, that's not fair.
Pregnant brain. And also the fire alarm went off in the middle. So totally messed up I was taking it in person. And so I had to retake the state portion of the exam.
My God.
Because I got so sidetracked in, pregnancy brain. But so I've loved every single minute. That was 2015 was when I got my license. I just love helping people buy and sell homes. Like I literally love it. But like you all said, when COVID hit, life got crazy. At first I was like, I'm not going anywhere. My life is over. I'm never going to sell another house again. And then my husband looked at me and he's like, you got to get out there. Like you put that mask on and you get out there. Because people were moving up from New York City like crazy because nobody wanted to be in the city. So we had that.
See a lot of, because there was a mass exodus out of New York during COVID.
We had so many people, like they kept their places in the city, but they wanted this like retreat, right? This escape because nobody was going into the office. So we had so many clients. I mean, 2020, 2021 were like crazy years. I mean, I was out left and right, double mask, double like gloves. I remember being at some showings in the really early stages, but
I had
life
booties.
Got crazy.
All of my open houses had booties to put on top of their shoes.
all
Yeah.
while having a little one, two little ones,
Yes,
right?
two little
Yeah.
ones.
We
Because
all
my
have that
son
in
was
common.
born. Yeah, my son
We
was
all had
born. You know.
tiny. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
all been in this business at some point or time with little tiny,
Little
not
people.
just they're older. All of ours are kind of older now, but yeah, that's incredible.
You get
That's
a
just
taste
still-
of this, so everybody was home and my husband was home. So like I had more flexibility, if you will, right? Because he was working from home. So he was able to take care of the kids at the time. And so, but I just remember like in that 2020, 2021 phase of like just being at beck and call, everybody's beck and call. Like, so that's where like, I think it started for me, just like being available 24/7. Cause like, what else do you have going on? Right.
Yeah.
Also, Jen fell into that trap of drinking. I think we had like the second things started shutting down, my husband had like an alcohol delivery on our front steps. I'm positive I have pictures of it, cases of whiskey and vodka
In
and wine.
boxes. Yep.
Yep. And they literally dropped it, right? Because now it's like you can't talk to anybody, you can't see
do
anybody.
anything.
But like
Yep.
got in that trap of drinking every night. Why? Because I had deserved it, right? Like I thought I deserved that for myself. So just got unhealthy, super unhealthy, burnt out, saying yes to everybody. All while 2018, my father got sick, and I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay.
But
if you
my
do.
dad,
We're here.
my
We're
dad,
here.
my dad got cancer. He survived. So we found out in 2018. Long story short, multiple surgeries, lots of caring for him, all kinds of appointments, and just trying to help him. He's so young, and in 2021 he passed away in November of 2021. And talk about hospice. We were in hospice. I mean, those people are special people, but that changed me, as I guess it should for anybody. But so that completely changed me. I was actually, before that, in July, I had joined, Emily had worked was coach for Faster Way, and I had joined Emily's program. So I had made a lot of progress, like July to like till like my dad ended up in hospice in October. And then I was on a hamster wheel. I got back to like, I wasn't drinking then. I started drinking. I started like just coping, right? Coping, eating, drinking, all the things, lost my dad. My mom moved in with us for a while. At that time, my daughter ended up like right after my dad passed away, she was at a cheer competition. So we were like traveling to Florida before the holidays. It was just like a lot, right? So I spiraled. And 2 years ago, I reconnect. I still am, I think, connected to Emily through Faster Way. I still do that program. I still track my macros.
Really?
I still do the workouts.
That's awesome.
I think Emily's still like in the referral thing because I think she's still
that
my
is cool.
quote unquote coach.
Do you feel comfortable sharing like your success with that?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, Emily had some sort of ad out there. She had turned into this, nervous system regulation coaching. And she said something that spoke to me, like, are you tired of being burnt out? Are you tired of this, tired of that? And at that time, Emily actually had like kind of two paths. It was like a health journey and then like a whole person. And I went, when her and I talked and figured out like what group I belonged in, I went the health route first because I felt like I knew how to do it. I just need to like reconnect to it. So started that path. And then obviously over the years, I've just stayed with her. I've connected so much with it. And I actually wanted to go on the Nantucket retreat because I'm in Connecticut and I'm like, I could have driven there, but for whatever reason I didn't. It was like right around my anniversary and I was like, oh, I can't be gone. Like all the things were going up. But anyways, so I decided I need to be at a higher level with Emily because I enjoy everything that I learned from her. I take so much away from it and I enjoy the people that are in the group. And so I signed up for the Butterfly Room, which is Emily's mastermind. And throughout this journey with Emily, I started doing regulation tips. One thing everybody knows me for is my morning walks. Like I do it rain, shine, snow, sleet, hail.
Yeah, the ones you do in the snow blow me away. When I lived in New York City, I was like a hermit, could not get out in the snow.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how
everything
I
shuts
started.
down.
Yeah. I mean, it does here too, but like I've become, I never thought I could be this person, but I've become a person who needs it. Like if I don't go for my walk in the morning, like last weekend, actually, I went to Newport for like less than 24 hours for an event with my husband's work. And like I literally the next morning got up and we just wanted to get back to the kids, or he wanted to get back to the kids. So like we just got up and left, and I didn't walk. I was like, I should have walked in Newport, but I didn't. And second I pull into this house, I'm like, I'm going for my walk now. I can't, like my day can't start unless I walked. So
yeah. So hopeful about regulation things. Yeah. It's like whenever you eat crap, you kind of want to eat more crap. But like when you start to eat real food and drink more water, you actually start to crave those things. Right. I think it's the same thing for regulation. And I've never thought about that before until you said that. Because we have to identify with that person who is like the one that enjoys those kind of things. I love that you just said that.
Yeah. So I think like you just have to like I've become a person that I never like really truly that I never thought I could be, but like it's just become part of who I am, and part of like my family knows it too, right? Like they know when I get up in the morning, like, did you go on your walk yet? Or, you know, like, are you back? Or did like, because sometimes everybody's still sleeping, right? So it's like, did you go? Or are you going? Yeah.
Don't talk to mom until she's had her walk. That's good.
But they know, you know, they know that's just who I am. And same with like, I've been tracking my macros for almost 2 years, and it's not because
I don't know how to do that.
I know it's not because it's not because like I used to think it was a chore. I'm like, there's no way I'm ever going to do it for this long. But like at the very beginning, like Emily, I put them in a spreadsheet. Emily would look at them like when I was part of that health group. Yeah. And so like I just, in my head, it was like this accountability thing. And now I like still do it. I got away from it a little after vacation, but I'm back at it.
Good.
It's boundaries.
Yeah.
There's
I know.
There's safety in boundaries.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
And you feel better. Like I know I feel better. And like, you know, at one point Emily's like, well, just intuitively eat. And I could do that. I could do that for a little period of time. But really there's something about, like you said, the boundaries, like putting it in, knowing, even if I go over, it's just like knowing where I'm at, you know, like just knowing, oh yeah, that's why you don't feel good, because you ate too many carbs today, whatever, you know, But I've lost, I think you ladies know, but I've lost almost just about over 60 pounds in 2 years. And it's all tracking what I eat, walking. I do strength. I started with like 2 days a week with strength workouts. Now I do 4 days a week. I do the faster way workouts still. I enjoy them. I'm trying to think. I just you know,
so inspiring. You literally one day you're like, this is what I'm going to do. And you stuck with it.
Yeah. And I think it's really important that when you set these goals for yourself, or I guess that's what it was, goals or rules or whatever, and you try to stick to it, and a lot of times you fail. I think a lot of times people set unrealistic expectations for themselves. So like I didn't start walking 60 minutes a day, right? I started with 15, 20 minutes, then worked up to 30 minutes. And then, you know, eventually it turned into an hour because I was trying to hit a step goal. And that was just like a me thing, right? Like that was just something I put on myself. And same with the strength workouts. Like I only did 2 days a week to make it manageable. Like I think a lot of people, when they have these health goals, they just go all in or nothing. And I think that's why we don't stick to what we tell ourselves we're going to do, right? Because it's not achievable. So I really think, and I think this now that I have this foundation for myself, I really think it's bled into who I am as a mom, who I am as a realtor, who I am as a wife, you know, and a daughter. You know, I really think that it is important to, you know, do these things. Because like I said, when I came home and I needed to get my walk in, like I knew, like for me to get through the rest of the day, like that's what I needed to do for me. And same, like sometimes I'll be at work and I'll be like, I'll ask a coworker, you want to go a quick walk? Like just need to like get out and get a quick walk in, even if it's 10 minutes, just so that you could reset, you know, and then refocus. And sometimes when you have a lot going on, sometimes that's like the only way, right? I know even I did this with my daughter actually a couple weeks ago, where I was like, she was having a hard time about something. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go outside, put our feet in the grass. And we did. And it was cold out at the time. So it was probably about a month ago, but it was really cold out. And she's like, oh my God, this is so cold, but it feels so good, you know, like, and it really, but it does, it like stimulates you, right? And it's like getting your senses activated so that you can reset. And she was like, oh, you're so right. Like this was so good. So I love that, like this work that we're all doing, you know, bleeds into our kids and how they're going to be raised, right? And then also into, you know, when we get into those situations for deals, when they start to fall apart or negotiations or whatever, we could be that calm voice for our clients as well, right? And even sometimes before like a day of showings, like same thing, like I go on my walk, I got to set myself up to be able to be present for my clients and be the best I can be, right? For multiple showings at a time or before a listing appointment, right? Same thing, like get yourself ready to show up as your best self. So
it's important that you talk about those titrated steps. And Emily talks about that a lot. Like to think that you can go from A to Z is just setting yourself up for failure. But what does it look like to say, okay, what is the next step? What can I reasonably achieve and use that confidence to take you to the next one? It's almost like a shift in the perspective that we were talking about, as in shaming something that might happen or seeing it as growth. Like, look how far I've come, instead of, man, I'm not where I want to be. Those are two different thought processes that you have just inherently kind of gone through coaching, through your experience, but just like your health journey has now led into your real estate journey, our business, our lives as professionals does bleed into the family life that we have.
Absolutely.
All useful skills, tools.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, just kind of going back, I think I always believe like your path is where you're meant to be, right? Like you said, Court, like I couldn't imagine a year ago being sitting here today doing this, right? And what's wild is on my vision board, the past 2 years in a row, I've done vision boards with a group of ladies. And on my vision board this year, I put a microphone. Just like this.
Didn't.
I did, because I was like, I'm going to do something with like videos or a podcast or something. Like I feel it. Like I like to do videos for work and stuff. So I was like, I don't know if it's, I didn't know who it was a podcast with or what it was going to be. And like how wild that like we met, this came up, like, and here we are. Like, it's so crazy. And, I think, just obviously I don't know. You never know where life is going to take you. And I truly believe everything's put in your path for a reason,
And I know we have been talking more. You're going to hear us drop Emily's name. So I don't know how this whole thing works yet, but if we can kind of, link it somehow and her coaching program, we'd love to do that. Or if you have any more questions about it, we want absolutely reach out and let us know.
Yeah, we would love to share. And I think just one piece of who I am, so I have been with multiple brokerages. I started with 8. So I've always been part of a team. I started with a team with Coldwell Banker called the Around Town team. And the team leader at the time, Andy Sachs, I went to high school with his wife. So when I got my real estate license, like he was my like go-to. I was like, I need to learn from somebody that's going to teach me the right way. And at first it was part-time, right? So like I wanted to make sure like I was learning the ropes properly. So I had started with him. We went over to Keller Williams for a short stint, and then he started his own brokerage called Around Town Real Estate. So we were Around Town team at both Keller and Caldwell, and then went to our own brokerage at Around Town Real Estate. And then a couple of months ago, we were approached about joining Compass. And so Andy and 4 others of us partnered together to create a new team at Compass, and we're called the Encore team at Compass, which again is something like I never thought up would ever happen. Talk about growing teams and learning. Yes. So we are 5 partners of my very best friends and coworkers came together to join the Encore, which the Encore means so many different things. Clients coming back, us coming around and doing it again, even better. And we are looking, to grow as a team. And, you talk about having us, right? This group of women to talk about, and that's who they are for me, like at my home base, they're my group that no matter what happens, they understand what's going on. They don't understand the regulation piece yet. I gotta work on them. I agree. Yeah. But they totally understand obviously the ins and outs, and, so I'm so it's wild to think where I've come. I never thought that this is where I'd be, a partner in a team for real estate. I always thought I'd just be kind of on my own, with working, as part of a team. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. And that has to help you through like your stress and dividing and conquering, like how your team, I mean, I know the past 6 months probably been kind of crazy getting that going, but how has it been since you've made that switch? And how did you kind of regulate through that?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing here is bringing five people together, right? 5 different opinions, 5 different ways of doing things. And I think what we all have going for us is that we've been together for a really long time. So we knew going in how everybody was going to operate, right? We knew all of that. And we each have our strengths and we each have our weaknesses. And I think we're really now starting to get the hang of like, okay, this is where you're, like we kind of set roles at the beginning, but we're kind of like going to revisit them soon because then there was so much that had to happen, right, to move it along. So I think we're finally getting to a point where we're, working really well together. We lean on the people for strengths and, we know where to push and pull. And, we just had our first new hire onto our team, which is really exciting. And so hopefully the first of many more to come. And we're just like really, we operate like a family, and that's who we're trying to attract, right? Speaking of attracting people. Yeah. And I think for me, I know you said, how did I regulate through this? I think coming back to this group, I know you guys have heard me talk a lot about when the change was happening and coming and how do I manage, and really just leaning on people, lots of walks. Lots of walks. One thing I like to do, we have rockers in the back out by our pool, by the fire pit, and I'll just go sit out there and just rock those rockers too. So really just regulating through and sounding board for, and Emily and our coaching with Emily and you guys, just having people to bounce ideas off of to get through it, right? Because nothing's going to be perfect. There is always, one thing Emily said at the very beginning, guys, that I'll never forget is life is 50-50, right? Mm-hmm. Life is 50-50. It is never going to be sunshine and rainbows 100% of the time. Right. So I think the key is when the 50% bad comes in, it's how you respond to it, right? How long does it knock you down for? How long, can you get back up and just move forward? And I think that's where we're all at, right? Like, yeah.
And it looks like y'all are having so much fun on your Instagram. I've been watching your team reel.
Yes, breaking it down.
I was loving that. I
was like, Court, we would make some good videos if you came.
Oh my gosh, yes. I can't wait.
Yeah, you had total Courtney energy yesterday.
Yes, total. You would have been way better at that than me, for sure.
It was awesome. Sure. And it's never easy, even getting started in this business, but then when you make a transition like you did in moving brokerages, there's so many details that people don't know about and that have to go into that. And just finding regulation through those little details, when things probably didn't go right or when you had problems arise. So that rocking chair definitely came in handy for you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Good. It's never, nothing's ever going to be easy, right? There's always going to be bumps, and it's about, working through those things and simple stuff like rocking in a rocking chair, right? Yeah. Going on a quick walk, like the things that we've learned to, just adapt when we find ourselves in those moments, right?
And things that we've probably taken for granted, just a rocking chair, Yeah. It can make such a huge difference. So that was great.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was me, Jennifer Kelley in Connecticut.
Thank you all so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Bye.